In the earlier lecture, we studied about the HTTP methods. Now in this lecture, we will cover out params. What are params? Params are filters. When we want some data from the API or the server, then what kind of filters you are applying? And also it is not limited to only GET request. You can apply for any kind of request. Either it is post, put, patch or delete, anything. Let's understand this concept by some examples. URL equal to this. We are familiar with this URL. This is a dummy API. Params equal to, we have given the filter of user ID 1 and limit 4. Limit 4 means we want only 4 records. Now again, be cautious here. These filters and params are not same for all the APIs. You have to read the documentation of the API and understand how the API requires params. Here you have passed the params here, filter here, then you get some kind of response. Now look at the URL, response.url. This is the URL. Now question mark, user ID equal to 1, filter number 1, I am saying it F1, then and filter 2, F2. Now this is the data set which you are getting now. Now if you observe here, all the user ID will be 1 and there will be 4 records, resources which you are getting in the output. Now again, params are not standard, they differ API to API. It depends on the developer of the API. With each API you will get some documentation, you have to study that documentation and according to that you have to frame your parameters. Here we are tied with the another set of parameters, user ID 1 and ID equal to 5. Now here we get only one record because for user ID 1 and ID 5 we have only one record. After the params we have the another concept, headers. This is the API, you can say, request structure. Now first one is the URL. Okay. Now we have studied in method. There can be any type of method, get, post, patch, delete, URL. Then params are the filter. We have studied body also. If you are using put, patch or a post request, then you can specify the body. Now there is another component of the request, that is header. Header store the metadata of the API call. What is the metadata? Authentication. Each API has its own credential. For example, I am accessing one API, so I need the API token for it. If I don't have the API token, then I can't be able to access that API. This API which we are using here is the free, so we don't need any kind of authentication. But in the most cases, 99% cases, we do have the paid APIs, so we do need some kind of tokens here. First one is the authorization. Authorization is the token, password. Content type is what kind of data you are sending to the API. Offset, what kind of data you expect from the API. User agent. User agent is the name, username. Let's study each of the headers parameters in detail. Authorization is the credential to connect to the API. Authorization has two types of credentials. First one is the bearer and second one is the API key. Bearer is the temporary token. API key is the permanent token. Bearer is quite, you can say, safer as compared to the API key, because API key don't change. It will change permanently, but bearer is temporary. You have to update the token after some set of days. Your organization will set the number of days after which token will be expired, and you have to regenerate the token and give it into the credentials of the API. Now content type. Content type is what kind of data you are sending to the API. Usually we give the data in the form of JSON. So we give application .json. Form data is also there. You are uploading some kind of file, but JSON is the widely used in the industry as said, but you are expecting from the API. You are telling that user agent is the name of the client to which you are calling the API. It is the best practice because through this you can get the logs. Like you have to understand, like in the month, how many users or which user has the highest transaction with the API, or you want to test the bot from the request. Then this will help you, user agent. You give the name to the each client. Now look at the API working here. URL, we are familiar with this URL. Now we have given headers equal to authorization. In authorization we have passed the dummy token. This API don't need any kind of authorization, so we have given some dummy token here. Second content type is the JSON. We are sending the data in the form of JSON, but it means if we have the body here, if we are passing some data here, then that data will be passed in the form of JSON. Third asset, we are expecting the data from the server in the form of JSON. Fourth, the name of your user. I have given here my laptop. Now look at here, request.get URL, headers equal to header, and params equal to params. Here we have printed out the status code. 200 is the success code. Second, response.headers. Response.headers means what we have passed. You can clearly observe here. For example, search for the content type, application JSON. Now in the headers, if you print the headers is the response which you get from the API. So the response we have already specified JSON. You can clearly see JSON is mentioned here. Now this is the data which we get from the API. Response.json, you will get the data here. So this is the basic architecture of the API. But we have covered till now methods, params, body, headers,